There were high expectations when an NHL expansion team was announced to be located in Las Vegas. The Golden Knights, a big team in a big market with big money and a great draft class, had a lot of good stuff to pick from. In their first season, they drafted William Karlsson, and Jonathan Marchessault was the notable names in their draft, and this is the rest of the roster. I'll dare you to name anyone else. Still waiting. Yeah, there was nobody I could name, and they finished first in the West, en route to a 1 seed, defeating everyone en route to a Stanley Cup final where they eventually lost to the Washington Capitals. This is an unprecedented success for an expansion team and something that is yet to be replicated since it was yet to be replicated before. This was a true first-time feat that prompted the Knights to sign Brayden McNabb in the offseason, along with Shea Theodore, two defenders who would make a big impact, and their rock, Marc-Andre Fleury, who was their last season. They signed him, and of course, the captain, Mark Stone, to round out a much-improved roster from the year before and one that already made it to the Stanley Cup final. This team was bound for success, but fell off a little bit. Just third place in the West, and got eliminated in the first round by the San Jose Sharks. Truly an upset first round, and a team that made it to the Stanley Cup the year prior. A lot of expectations were taken down. In that offseason, Nicholas Waugh came around to the team, along with Chandler Stevenson. These two people had a big impact, along with defender Zach Whitecloud, and this roster, while lacking the big name, looked a lot more well-rounded than the ones that Vegas had in the past, and they had better goalkeeping. Fleury was doing great, and you have the backup in Robin Lehner. This helped them finish. They finished first in an 86-point season en route to the Western Conference Finals, where they were eventually eliminated by the Dallas Stars. This is going to become a running theme, but in this offseason, they signed Alex Pietrangelo. You can see this roster is starting to take effect. It's starting to be more well-rounded, there's starting to be more international names, and it really is starting to look like a team with a true hard-nosed identity. The Golden Knights would tie the Avalanche for first place in the West, and would go on to have great success until they were eliminated by the Stanley Cup winning Montreal Canadiens in a COVID season that everyone, especially Vegas fans, wants to forget. In that offseason, they got their big name, Jack Eichel, the star that this team had been looking for to round up a heck of a roster that was poised to do big things in the next season. And boy, did they. Well, they didn't. A team that had so much potential, looked so well-rounded, came in fourth and squeezed their way, and they got eliminated once again by the Montreal Canadiens, a team that stuck a thorn in their side and is one of many that has stuck a thorn in their side. Vegas was on a mission, though, in the next offseason, getting another big piece, Mike Amadio, forward to back up Jack Eichel, and their rock, their goalie, Logan Thompson. And this roster that we see right here, this is the roster. The greatest season in Vegas Golden Knights history, in just 5 years after they were an expansion team. They finished with 111 points and went on to win the Stanley Cup. A team that truly defied all expectations from the beginning is now a Stanley Cup champion, and what a moment it was for the Vegas faithful. Made it to the Stanley Cup in their first season and now are winners in their fifth. And in the next season, they made no moves, an off-season that really was just blank. No big moves, no big acquisitions, and it didn't pay off. Jack Eichel got injured midway through the year, and Vegas couldn't recover. They just squeezed their way into the playoffs and were eliminated in round 1 by the Stars in a hard-fought 7-game series. A team that won the Stanley Cup the year prior was now eliminated in the first round after finishing 4th in the West. Led by Captain Mark Stone, who had the worst season of his career, this team truly was an upset. And in the offseason, we'd see big names released like Chandler Stevens, forward and former Jack Eichel assistant Mike Amadio, Jonathan Marchessault, one of the first big signings the team ever made, and Alec Martinez, a true defender who came into his own. Now, the question of what happened to this team is, it's pretty sad. A team that won the championship defying all odds and then got complacent. The Vegas Golden Knights are a lesson that I think a lot of sports teams can learn from. When you reach the pinnacle, it's a great moment. But after that, you can't get complacent. You can't win games with a roster that's the same as before. When everyone else is improving around you, you have to improve yourselves. And that is how the Vegas Golden Knights went from Stanley Cup champions to being eliminated in the first round the year previously. Complacency and the inability to restructure a team when their top star and Jack Eichel got eliminated. Now you have a team that is not looking too good next season. A team to me, is not even going to make the playoffs after releasing many of their big signings and over the years, big players is now just looking to be in a rebuilding phase. And to me, it's just a tragedy. A Vegas team that came out with big expectations, performed even bigger than those, and then just fizzled out this year, and will for many more.